Welcome to People Want to Know, an immigration segment where we answer your social media questions. Right now I'm accompanied by my beautiful mother, attorney Jessica Dominguez, and we're so happy that she's here with us. Thank you for being on People Want to Know.
My pleasure, Hito. Thank you.
This week on People Want to Know, we received a question from Amanda right here in our own neighborhood in Los Angeles, and her question reads, I'm a U.S. citizen. I want to apply for my husband's legal permanent residency, but I have been told that I don't earn enough for the Affidavit of Support. First off, can you explain what is an Affidavit of Support?
An Affidavit of Support, or Form I-864, is a legally required form for any family-based petition to show that the petitioner has adequate financial means to support the person that they're petitioning.
Great, thank you for answering that. So Amanda has been told that she does not earn enough to sponsor the Affidavit of Support. What can she do?
Well, the poverty guidelines are used to determine whether the income requirements are met. In a bit, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the poverty guidelines, but for now, what Amanda needs to do is she needs to find a joint sponsor.
A joint sponsor. So if she needs to find a joint sponsor, who can be a joint sponsor?
GP, there are 5 important points to consider. First, the person has to be over 18. Second, the joint sponsor has to be either a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. And third, they have to meet the federal poverty guidelines. On screen, we are showing Form I-864P. With this form, people can learn whether or not they meet the federal income poverty guidelines in order to be sponsors. We're showing the link on screen so that people can access it and they can read. What do you think? Every time that I tell someone to go see a form or to fill out a form, what advice do I give them?
Always read the directions very carefully.
Read every single instruction in order to avoid making mistakes.
So let's say Amanda, she finds a joint sponsor who's a legal permanent resident or U.S. citizen, is over 18 years old, and does meet the poverty guidelines. What does a joint sponsor need to do?
Excellent question. And that brings me to points 4th and 5th. 4th point, the joint sponsor needs to complete their own I-864. If they have to complete a form, what do you think I'm going to tell them to do?
To read the instructions very carefully.
Yes, read every instruction because you don't want to make mistakes. Because what happens when you make a mistake and you register a form with USCIS? What happens if you don't send all the information?
Well, I'm sure they delay the whole process.
Exactly. We want to avoid any delay in process, correct? Okay, so that's point number 4. Complete your own separate I-864 if you're a joint sponsor. And point number 5, you have to, what do you think?
I think you're going to have to register some sort of evidence along with the form, correct?
My son is learning really fast. Yes. You need to register, the joint sponsor will need to register his federal income taxes for, if it is a consular processing, let's say Amanda's spouse is going to go abroad for a consular process interview, the joint sponsor needs to show 3 years of income taxes. Okay. They need to submit their 3 latest current pay stubs and a letter of employment. If they are filing an adjustment of status, the person who is going to be getting legal permanent residence doesn't have to leave the country. They'll go to their interview here with USCIS. Then only 1 year of taxes are required. But in review, the joint sponsor needs to file their own I-864 and they need to register the evidence that I mentioned.
Well, there you have it, Amanda. Thank you so much for sending in your question. Attorney Jessica Dominguez, mother of mine, thank you so much for being here with us.
Pleasure.
And next week, for all those people that have been following us, we've been going over the I-601A waiver here on People Want to Know, but we're going to start transitioning into trying to find out how to file for citizenship if you are a legal permanent resident in this nation right now.
I love it, GP, because many of the questions that we're getting are from people that are saying, wait, I'm not a U.S. citizen yet. Can I benefit from this I-601 process? The answer is no, because it only benefits immediate relatives of U.S. citizens. So that's the reason why that would be a great benefit for a person who is a legal permanent resident and who already qualifies to become a citizen.
Great. Well, you just heard it. Thank you for watching People Want to Know. Next week, we'll be going over how to file for citizenship if you're here as a legal permanent resident in this nation. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.